Praise be Jesus Christ, now and forever. Sometimes without even planning, a theme emerges for me during a season of the church while trying to prepare these nuggets. Curiously, this year the theme appears to be poetry, or at least some poems or lines from poems have been resonating. This is probably because I was introduced to a book by the English poet, storyteller, musician, and Anglican cleric Malcolm Guite. I recommended him, and among a couple of his books that I got, I picked up Waiting on the Word. I should probably get royalties for all the books that I recommend, but this is a poem a day for Advent, Christmas, and Epiphany, the true holidays. Some of the poems are written by Guite, others he picks and writes a page or two about. I'd heartily recommend it to you for your Advent next December. You'll probably see where I got some of my ideas. Hopefully I acknowledged them and was not guilty of plagiarism, although as the scripture says, there's nothing new under the sun. Every original idea we think we've had, someone else has probably said it before us. Good for the humility, I suppose. One of the great themes of Advent is, of course, light, the coming of the light. Christ called himself the light of the world, and the creed we recite each Sunday proclaims him light from light. We genuflect, or we should, as we recite the creed on Christmas Day, as we solemnly recall the stupendous reality of the Incarnation. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. Among other meanings, we know the word Advent means visitation. The period of preparation is recalling the first visitation, the birth of the Lord, and readying ourselves in theory for his final visitation in glory. Benedict XVI, who I am unashamed to quote regularly, as you know, in a lovely phrase describes Christmas as the birthday of the light and the entrance procession of goodness into the world. We recall, of course, for the feast of the Epiphany, the men who were wise, the Magi, being led by the star to the crib, being led by created light to the creator of light. However, the theme of light resonates so easily for us because of the darkness of the year, the bleak midwinter, ice and snow, or at least the sun going down seemingly far too early. Almost every religion uses in some form the imagery of light, but only the founder of Christianity claimed to be light. How we need that light in times which appear very dark. Even a candle in the darkness casts enough light to see the way, perhaps not too far, but enough. That's what we celebrate as Christians, not just the true breaking of the final darkness, death itself, by the resurrection, but the entrance procession of goodness into the world at Christmas. St. Lucy's Day, which we just celebrated, used to be the winter solstice in the old calendar, the shortest day of the year. Guite, in his book of poetry, reminds us that especially in the darker climes of the West, Scandinavia in particular, this day was celebrated as a great feast of light and anticipation of Christmas. We've all seen images of girls dressed with candle crowns, casting light into the darkness. Guite quotes a line from the poet John Donne, who we mentioned last week, describing St. Lucy's Day as the year's midnight. Christ, however, is the dayspring from on high, the morning star who never sets. When it is most dark is the moment when the light is about to break through. Hold on to the light and wear the crown of righteousness to be light. Brethren, rejoice, be perfected, be comforted, be of the same mind, be at peace, and the God of peace and love will be with you.